entire White House is one giant grift. Donald Trump and his friends are in power in order to use their access to government to make money. It stinks, and we should get to the bottom of it.
You don't think you should get to the bottom of it, Kevin?
Wow, it sounds like that guy has Trump derangement syndrome.
What transpires when a once popular TV host attempts to trap a billionaire on live television and ends up getting utterly embarrassed? Let me fill you in. Picture this. It's Easter Sunday, a time meant for serenity and reflection. As families gathered for their celebrations and kids search for Easter eggs, CNN's Don Lemon was on a different kind of hunt. He was in pursuit of a scandal. Right from the get-go, it was evident that Don had a clear agenda. He wasn't interested in subtlety or truth. He was determined to coax Kevin into claiming that Donald Trump engaged in insider trading. The so-called evidence? A post Trump made on Truth Social a week and a half ago, claiming it was a prime time to invest. This was followed by an announcement from his administration about a 90-day tariff pause, which led to an uptick in the markets. This sequence might seem far-fetched to most viewers, but for Don Lemon, it wasn't just coincidence. It was a conspiracy. So what was his next move? He went all out, proposing that Trump orchestrated a pump-and-dump financial maneuver from the Oval Office, enriching his buddies while leaving the rest of the population in the dust. Did Don Lemon actually crack open a clandestine financial plot? Or did Kevin O'Leary do what he excels at? Coolly dismantling unfounded claims with reason and a smirk, while media chaos swirled around him? Spoiler alert, you already know the answer. Let's delve into how Kevin O'Leary transformed Don Lemon's breakdown into one of the year's most humiliating broadcasts on CNN. But first, comment with your city and give a thumbs up if you're over the media's tendency to twist narratives out of shape. Ready? Let's dive in.
What say you? I mean, look, CNBC is serious. You're on CNBC with the Shark Tank. These are some serious questions. And look, everyone, I think people are saying investigate. It certainly is questionable when you look at these things. What do you think of it?
Well, look, if you participate in insider trading, you have information the overall market doesn't have, and you actually trade on it, you go to jail. That's what happens. So that's been happening long before the Trump administration, and it'll happen long after he's gone. You just can't do that. So if these allegations come, and they're obviously speculations, and if this has happened, I'm all for people have to follow the law in this stuff. I mean, it's unfair to do that, and if they did it, they will suffer the legal consequences. He's speculating, though. Both these reporters are speculating. They don't know. I mean, let's see what happens. It's
not concerning to you at all? You have no concern about this? I mean, look,
I don't, because if you're so stupid to do this, you deserve to go to jail. That's, it's like
I don't mean to deserve to go to jail, Kevin. I mean, you have no concern that there is some evidence, or at least it does seem suspicious. I mean, even Chris Murphy is saying that. Chris Murphy is saying, you're talking about insider trading accusations. This is a bit long, but I want to play it for you and then get your response. Here it is.
I have questions about the tariff announcements today. Who benefited and who made money? And this should matter to you too, because this could be an enormous scam. What we know is that about 9:30 today, Trump posts on social media that people should buy. It's a good time to buy. And then 3 hours later, guess what? He announces that there's going to be a 90-day suspension of many of the tariffs. Predictably, the market, which had been crashing, shoots up, and anyone who made investments early today likely made a lot of money. And so the question is, who close to Trump knew that he was going to suspend the tariffs? Which of his Mar-a-Lago friends or his billionaire advisors were able to capitalize on that inside information? Why did Trump send out that post to his supporters earlier in the day? The bottom line is that the chaotic nature of this tariff policy, with Trump's position changing every single hour, gives ample opportunity for any individual who has early access to information about the White House's change in position to make boatloads of money, either by investing at the right time or pulling their money out of the market at the right time. This entire White House is one giant grift. Donald Trump and his friends are in power in order to use their access to government to make money. It stinks, and we should get to the bottom of it.
You don't think you should get to the bottom of it, Kevin?
Wow, it sounds like that guy has Trump derangement syndrome. I mean, let me get this right. I'm not a lawyer, but I'm just going to walk you through what he said happened. Trump posts globally, good time to buy. So everybody knows, hypothetically, because it's not hiding anything. And then the market goes up. Just as likely it goes down. I mean, every day the volatility has been absolutely extraordinary. But he already told the whole world to buy. And then, according to this guy, everybody buys. Where's the insider trading? I don't get it.
You have no problem with a president telling people it's time to buy? I mean, do you think that is appropriate for a president to say?
What I heard was a president that was a cheerleader for America. That's what I heard. Now, look, I understand.
Well, hang on, Kevin. Hold on. 50%.
Kevin O'Leary nailed it, and a lot of us find ourselves nodding in agreement. If all you've heard for the last decade is that Donald Trump resembles a cartoon villain determined to wreck the nation, then seeing a tweet promoting buy the dip might indeed look like some sinister Wall Street mind control signal. But when does ignorance become a conscious decision? That's the point Kevin is driving at. After 10 years of media twisting the story, botched investigations, and narratives falling apart. If you're still holding on to the belief that Trump embodies all evil, that's your doing. It's not because the facts haven't been presented, it's because you've decided not to acknowledge them. In our era of unprecedented access to information, countless people still adhere to stories spun by a media with a blatant agenda. Kevin's discourse goes beyond politics. It's about mindset, willful blindness, if you will. He even expresses some sympathy for those so fixated on despising a man they don't know, that they let that bitterness seep into everything, including their personal lives. He's spot on. That's neither healthy nor normal. A public tweet visible to the entire world isn't insider trading. It's not a confidential meeting or a hidden code. It's just a tweet. You should choose how to interpret it. Some perceive hope, others see manipulation. However, how one interprets it reveals more about them than about the actual tweet. Even the mainstream media, yes, them, quickly let this story fade when they saw it had no substance. Don Lemon, though, seemed to miss that memo. He keeps chasing after breadcrumbs while the broader liberal media has quietly disengaged. Let's set Trump aside for a moment and ponder a wider issue. How many Congress members, regardless of party, are buying and selling stocks regularly, armed with insider knowledge unavailable to the public? How many of them warrant investigation? And yet, Trump remains the focal point of attention, as usual. Let's delve deeper into this.
Not about throwing Trump in jail all the time. They already tried that last year, or last 4 years. Didn't work. The guy's the president of the United States. Get over it. And then in 3.5 years, he won't be. But my goodness, what a waste of energy. I mean, that guy had.
I don't think anybody's saying throw him in jail, Kevin. I just think they're saying and maybe it could be the people around him. But
you're asking me what I think. I think it's just it's just total speculation. And there's so much noise out there. This is just more noise and kind of irrelevant as far as I'm concerned.
You think it's irrelevant if the president if there was some manipulation of the stock market? It's not like we haven't seen that before. That
I don't think he's manipulating the stock market. I think he's driving policy, particularly on China, with extraordinary tariffs, and it's causing a lot of angst around the world, not just domestically. And he's saying to everybody, "Look, hang in there. I'm trying to get something done that no one's been able to do, and there's going to be volatility." And you should be optimistic on America. That's my read of it. And, so no, I am not. I don't think that there's this speculation on insider trading has much traction to it. But I listen, insider trading is a federal offense. And if you do it, you suffer the consequences. But I don't see it here.
This is Trump in the Oval Office yesterday. Even though you said it doesn't, you don't have an issue with it, bragging about how rich he made his friends. And the people on Wall Street, in the meantime, the people on Main Street are like, "What the fuck, man? We've lost a ton of money, and we are living paycheck to paycheck." Here it is in the Oval Office.
This is Charles Schwab. It's not just a company; it's actually an individual. And he made $2.5 billion today, and he made $900 million. He's in financials. I've always been.
Not a bit cringe. Considering, you know, a
No,
lot of
no,
folks
you
are
know,
watching us. If you're in the chat and
you-
you're watching us,
no, no,
did you
Don,
make
I'm
900
helping,
million?
I'm helping you with your Trump derangement syndrome. Let me
I
interpret
don't have
what
Trump
happened in the
derangement
White House.
syndrome. Trust me. I'm not. And again, listen, I'm not a Democrat, so don't even try it. I don't have Trump derangement, but
It
I am
doesn't
a
matter what
realist.
your
I have
stripes
eyes
are.
and ears.
He's celebrating entrepreneurship. These are individuals that obviously had positions in the indexes, in the markets, as I do. I've been watching my net worth vary by 20%, some days 5% in an hour, up and down. And I understand why that's happening. I've also learned in my life, you can't time the market. If you missed that upside yesterday, you basically left, 4.5% on the table. You're not going to get back maybe. So it's really a crazy time. And I agree with that. But trying to tie insider trading to market volatility, Don, I love you, honey, sweetie, poopsie, but it ain't going to happen. None of this stuff has any teeth, any traction. And
All right.
I don't even think it'll get investigated because it's so obvious what happens here.
Kevin, sweetie, dearie, I'm just asking the questions. I mean, look, when you get major
Well,
news
I'm answering
organizations
you. No, it
asking-
doesn't bother me. And I don't think there's anything important here. That's what I think.
All right, pumpkin. All right, so let's.
Wait a minute. Don Lemon actually stated he's not a Democrat? That's about as credible as Nancy Pelosi needing payday loans. Let's crunch some numbers while we're at it. Congressional members rake in about $174,000 annually, slightly more, with leadership extras. Yet that doesn't explain how many amass millions during their time in office. So, here's the kicker. What's the source of all that wealth? Take a look at a few figures. Senator Rick Scott's wealth stems from co-founding HCA, a major hospital group in America. Makes sense. Darrell Issa crafted a fortune from car security innovations. Mark Warner wisely placed early bets in the telecom sector. Sure, you can follow the business path, whether you're fond of them or not. But then there's number 9, Nancy Pelosi, a career politician. No billion-dollar business ventures, no chart-topping books, no reality TV, just decades-long tenure in Congress. Yet, she's worth as much as $285 million. We're led to believe it's all due to her husband Paul's prowess in real estate and venture capital. Really now? If that's the case, Paul Pelosi should launch a masterclass. He could single-handedly put poverty to rest by teaching us how to convert a political salary into a hedge fund. This isn't news. Back in 2022, the Pelosi's invested in $1 million worth of NVIDIA options right before congressional votes on semiconductor subsidies. In 2024, Paul strategically dumped $500,000 in Visa stock merely days before the DOJ announced an antitrust lawsuit. You can't make this stuff up. Yet nothing sticks. Pelosi casually dismisses it. I didn't know about that, while the media treats her words as sacrosanct. Meanwhile, Don Lemon is on Trump's tweet trail like it's a master crime spree. Let's be clear, this isn't solely about Pelosi. I want every Congress member scrutinized, left, right, whatever their hue. If they're gaming the system with insider trading, I want them ousted. Jail time, fines, whatever the law demands. Time to strip away the impunity that power provides. So, Don, if you genuinely care about government ethics, stop obsessing over what Trump shares online, and start focusing on the quiet billion-dollar exploits happening in plain sight on Capitol Hill. We didn't elect these folks to become millionaires. Their job is to represent us. They've lost sight of that, and it's our job to remind them. Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you even think Trump's tweet fits the bill for insider trading? Or is Don Lemon just creating a fuss out of nothing? As always, I appreciate all of you for tuning in. Keep your guard up, remain skeptical, and I'll catch you next time.